Hey, real quick, I got two things. These are from document 00043150 of layer 2, if you are following along. And this is slide 22. And Jason Burmis of Pulse Change, We Are Change, was talking about a gun possibly having got through security and maybe a gun being on the plane. So I went and I looked, well, can I find who was shot? So that was the search term that I was looking for. Brought up a number of documents, and then so I went through each document and tried to find the words "was shot." So this was the most interesting one. It also was the one that I started with first because it's a PowerPoint, and I always start with the PowerPoints first because they are the collection of all of the tidbits of information that I think will be the good footholds to go off of to find other crumbs and clues. So this is from slide 22 again, and it's the executive summary. It talks about, or the executive summary from FAA's post 9/11 incident report talks about how on Flight 11, American Airlines Flight 11, and I think this was Betty Ong's flight, and they're referring to her call. It says a flight attendant had called the American Airlines Operations Center and reported that one passenger was shot and killed by terrorist. Shot and killed by terrorist. And it says play clip, obviously, so that's probably the phone call. And again, American Airlines confirmed it. The Operations Center personnel said that she was, she believed she accurately recorded everything into the logs when she had taken the phone call. That's pretty crazy. Granted, right after they're saying that, oh well, American Airlines or the FBI, we couldn't corroborate this. But yesterday I had read the portions of I had talked about the memo Chuck Grassley sent to then director Robert Mueller, who it basically was saying the same thing that people were telling Mueller now about, like, we want transparency. Why are you, holding back these certain parts of these investigations? Anyway, interesting. So then I quickly tried to find this Star report, but didn't find anything in the documents from layer 2. So maybe go back to layer 1, maybe do some Googling. Anyway, but of course, neither of these people are going to corroborate that, because if they say that, oh, yep, definitely gun on a plane, that means they're liable. Because they let a gun on their plane. And then, of course, I think the FBI was like, well, if they had planted these people or these hijackers, whatever you want to call them, similar to how they had set up the bombing of the World Trade Center in '93. There was evidence to show that the FBI was running an informant and was planning to have them go all the way up to the point of bombing, but stop them right before it happened so that they could be the heroes. And they didn't stop them in time, is what came out. Anyway, so interesting stuff there. And of course, the slide right before the was shot stuff is just, bolstering their case and saying that there was substantial evidence of the unwillingness of the airlines to take security seriously. Reports of airline security breaches were ignored, and then the FAA was willing to negotiate down the fines. Like, if you got a speeding ticket and you went to court and were like, come on, judge, I was only going 5 over, like, there was no one around, it was dry out, it wasn't even raining, like, okay, fine, we'll make you pay $85 instead of $135, whatever it is. So that it's funny that they're willing to do that. A fine should be a fine, you would think. And then the second part, slide 29, I thought that this was interesting, that the law firm is debating about participating in the terrorist litigation because they think it's going to be hard to collect judgments with the competition. Again, it's not that it's going to be hard to collect judgments. They think that, yeah, we're going to get judgments and everyone's going to get money, but they think that they're not going to get a big chunk because there's too much competition with individual victims and heroes. Why is that written in quotes? It seems like it's condescending that way. I know if I was going to write it condescendingly, I would actually write it exactly like that. Because victims isn't quoted. Why is heroes quoted? Does this refer to the Let's Roll people from United 93 who, again, it shows in previous documents in layer 1 that the United 93 scenario of the passengers taking over the plane and crashing it into the ground was not what happened. And then this part too, they're concerned about public relations and commercial concerns. So I assume this is like oil and such. But regarding some defendants, but some defendants means just the Saudis. So interesting, funny. Anyway, those two things in this document I thought were interesting in regards to if there was or was not actually a gun on the plane. And like I said, I searched for was shot. There's a number of documents. I went through most of them. And, you know, this PowerPoint obviously was something that was kind of like, hey, right there. So if you've heard the Betty Ong phone call, I think it's like 20-something minutes long, but we only get like a couple minutes of it. I think that's the one that they're mentioning again in slide, this one here. But that's it for now. Hopefully another video soon for you guys.